Hey everybody, thanks for joining SpringPath, the podcast. We have a great show lined up, lots to talk about, so let's get after it. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another episode of SpringPath, the podcast. Today we're going to learn about Curry College, and we have a special guest joining us, the Dean of Admissions, Keith Robichaud. Keith, how are you today?
I'm well, Mike. How are you? Thank you for having me.
No, I'm doing great. I'm really excited to talk to you because not only about your background personally, which I think is hilarious when we were catching up, is also, you know, your track and how you got to your position, but also Curry is a great school. And I had friends who went there and they said great things about it. And we want to share that with our listeners and viewers. So I appreciate you joining us. Let's start off with how you got to be the Dean of Admissions by way of, was it a traveling circus or cross country?
Yeah. It wasn't that bad, Mike. It wasn't that bad. No. So I as an undergrad student, I found a really strong interest in marketing and public relations. So I did my undergrad majoring in public relations. And once I graduated college, I was ready to hit the road and experience life. And I took a cross country trip with a few buddies of mine, and we drove across country, stopped in a variety of different small towns across America. And, you know, I was on this mission. I was going to find my way to the West Coast and have this amazing career in PR out in, you know, Los Angeles or Hollywood, and made my way to California. And I ended up taking a position with an events management group. And I thought, okay, this is great. I'm going to manage events. I'm going to be a PR person and promote all of these great events. And come to find out, most of my days were spent dressed up as Ninja Turtles and doing little kids' birthday parties. So that was my glorified first career move as a music grad.
Yeah, we all have to start somewhere.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. But once, you know, that kind of put me in my place, right? So I made my way back to New England. My roots are here in New England, family, friends, and ended up talking to an old college friend of mine who suggested I come in and meet with a dean of enrollment at a small school right outside of Boston, and not Curry. And I did, and I was really intrigued, and I thought, okay, I could really put my PR and marketing skills to use. And that's how I found my way in higher ed. I've been in the industry now for over 25 years. I've been at Curry for 18 years. And it's just an amazing community to be a part of. And I'm excited to talk to you about it and share everything I know about Curry College with prospective families and students.
Yeah, no, that's great because you know, when you talk about the community and how you've had a long run there for 18 years now, and that kind of segues into, you know, one of the things we've talked about previously in how Curry kind of approaches this is that students who come to the campus, they all have different needs and different expectations. And one of the things Curry does differently is you have what's called the partnership program. So can you share a little more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I think that makes Curry distinctive is our real focus on the individual learner. Curry has a world-renowned learning support program, a program for advancement of learning, and it's been around for over 50 years. And the intent of that program is really about catering to the individual learner, helping them understand how they learn best so they can be successful. The Curry Partnership Program came out of that, recognizing that regardless of a student's academic background, regardless of their strengths or their challenges, every student has different needs, both in the classroom and out of the classroom. So Curry's partnership program pairs every first-year student with a mentor, with a staff member or an upperclassman or a faculty member who will work with that individual throughout their transitional year to help them reach out to the areas that they're most interested in, access the supports that are going to benefit them the most, so their experience is beneficial and it's really supported throughout their journey during that first year.
Yeah, and some of the things we talked about were really in and around, the focus on academics clearly, but also the whole social aspect or any, just mental health in general, making sure they're happy and, any challenges. But with the program, what's the ratio for the mentor to students?
Yeah, so every mentor works with 3 to 5 students. So it's really individualized, really personalized, very hands-on. And the partnership program, again, it's really about making sure that that first year experience. All you know this, Mike. I mean, students are coming to college now with a whole bunch of different needs, whether it's academic support needs, whether it's support around the well-being, mental health. And the partner is really there to help guide a student, making sure that they have access to the things that are going to benefit them the most, making sure that they can navigate those supports, and really setting a foundation for the student to then build on and have a successful 4-year experience at the institution.
Yeah, and that's the key, is finding the success in their first year to continue on, and that's the investment that Curry makes with this program. And I love to hear that the upperclassmen and staff are willing to jump in and help at, on a 3-to-1 ratio or a 5-to-1 ratio. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. One of the neat things about Curry is although we're not a super large school, we're not a super small school either, and it's not uncommon to be walking along the academic quad and to have staff or faculty, know who the students are by name. I know a lot of small schools can say that, but at Curry, it really happens. Faculty get to know the students, staff get to know the students. It's incredibly individualized, super personalized. And the Curry Partnership Program just is a piece of that.
Sure. So let's kind of segue into that. So let's talk more about first year and the campus. So you have the partnership program, which is great. It's helping students be successful in their first year when they enter. But there's some unique things about your location and how you're set up. And what did you call it? You're in the Blue Hills, but you're not far from the city. So let's talk a little more about that.
Yeah. So we like to say that it's the best of both worlds here in terms of our location. We are located in Milton, Mass, which, by the way, was ranked the safest college town in America by SafeWise in 2021. And that's something that we take great pride in, because we know safety is incredibly important to students, to families. And that's something that we embrace and ensure that we provide a safe community for our students. But yeah, we're located in Milton, right outside of the Blue Hills. I'm not going to mislead your viewers in any way and say it's a major ski resort, but students have the ability to get up in the morning. Oh, who am I fooling? They're not getting up in the morning. They're getting up in the afternoon. They're going to their first class, and then once they're done, they come back to campus. They grab their snowboard. They walk across the street to the Blue Hills, do a couple runs. They come back to campus, jump on a shuttle, and they get into Boston, one of the major metropolitan cities in the country, with access to a whole host of co-curricular and extracurricular activities. And our students are absolutely taking advantage of that.
No, yeah. I mean, it's, just to have that kind of access to, it just sounds like a fun time. And I know you and I have talked about just the campus style and the housing. Like, it's very New England-esque, and talk a little bit more about some of the halls and the houses. Like,
yeah, so our campus is 135 acres, so it's a pretty good sized campus, and we have 19 resident halls, which include some smaller homes, and these are small houses that, in some cases, may be themed. Others, it's just upperclassmen living together in a small house, and then we have the more traditional resident halls as well. Curry's done a lot of new construction, a lot of new buildings. We just opened up our Science and Research Center, the Learning Commons, which host all of the learning support programs under one roof. So there's been a lot of new additions to campus. But the student life is something that we really have focused on.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out of 2 years of pandemic, I think what suffered the most is the student life experience. And that's something that we've really invested in. And we want to get to that post-pandemic, that pre-pandemic level where our students are really engaging, taking part in clubs and organizations, and really being a part of a larger community, which is something that's critically important, especially for first-year students, to get involved in all the activities that interest them.
So Keith, talk to me a little bit about some of the programs and some of the new things that you're doing, specifically around the School of Business.
Sure. Yeah. So Curry has always had really strong business programs. It's been, one of the strengths of our academic portfolio. But recently we decided to put all of our business and computer science programs under one roof, and it's our new School of Business. We've added some additional programs to the portfolio. Most recently, our public relations and our marketing majors. We also have a really strong computer science major and our sport and recreation management major, which is one of our destination programs now. We started sport and rec just 3 years ago, and it's already one of our most enrolled programs. So we're really proud of that, and we're really excited about the opportunities that are going to exist within the School of Business, both in terms of access for our students, internship opportunities, co-curricular activities that are going to come out of the School of Business, and new academic programs that we're adding to the portfolio on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, no, and that's exciting. And I think, one of the key things that I would point out to viewers and listeners, students and parents alike, is the uniqueness of where your location is. You have the city that's not too far away. So you have these Fortune 500 companies that are available and access, but you also have, hospitals that, world renowned, and you have nonprofits. You have the gambit, which is right next door. But one of the things that's specific in to Curry is your investment in the students' future through your career and global development. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have our Center for Career and Global Studies, which is really a division within the institution who really supports the students through the process of internships and engagement outside of the classroom, all with the lens of not only building a solid resume, but having real world experiences that are going to prepare them for a successful career. And it includes access to alumni. We have over 20,000 alumni across the country, and we consistently have our successful alum come back and speak to students about the industries that they work in, about their experience, and that networking opportunity is really an amazing opportunity for our students. But it starts on day one. It's not, we're not waiting till senior year and saying, okay, now it's time to write a resume. Now it's time to, practice your job interviewing skills. This is happening from day one, where we have alumni come in and speak to first-year students. A lot of our first-year students, they don't know what they want to study. They don't know what career they want to explore. So access to these folks to hear their experience, access to be able to do internships in a variety of areas, whether that's, like you mentioned, a Fortune 500 company, or maybe it's one of the pro athletic sports teams in New England. Being able to do that is going to help guide them to what the next steps are and support them for their long-term goals of a successful career.
Yeah, and I think that's the key to it, is the network, but your alumni access to alum. So let me say it this way. When students get there and they're still exploring and trying to figure things out, you have access to alum who have already done this. They've achieved success in certain areas, and they can have these conversations, and they can maybe even internship to see if they like that role or if they want to switch. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's about exploration, right? So, I would say about 40% of our incoming first-year students, they haven't declared a major. They're not certain what they want to study. Right. Curry has a fairly diverse academic portfolio that provides them opportunity to explore. And part of that exploration is to hear from alumni who have been successful in the fields that they've eventually found themselves in. A student who comes to us who might have an interest in business might attend a luncheon where a successful business alum is talking about their experiences. And that individual, that young first-year student might say, you know what, business isn't for me. It sounds not that interesting, and I want to explore something else. So it really is a great opportunity to explore what is available, and it's beyond just the majors that we offer. It's a whole bunch of different career paths that can come out of the studies that they experience here at the institution.
Beyond the alumni that you have, that's a great network. You also have a story in and around the original chancellor.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Not a lot of people know this about Curry. So Curry was founded in 1879. So we have a fairly rich history, and our founders were dear friends with Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell served as Curry's chancellor for the first 20 years. And rumor has it that our founders were actually in the room when he made that very first phone call. So we're sticking to that story.
Well, I didn't hear anyone say anything to the counter, so we're good.
Sounds good.
All right, that's great. Keith, thank you for being on the show. I appreciate it. This was very informative. I think we got a lot of information across. If students want to reach out and contact you, what's the URL for Curry College?
Sure. Best way, Mike, is curry.edu. And if they want to send an email to the admission office, it's adm@curry.edu. And we will respond to any questions that anyone has about the institution.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And for all the listeners, please go also visit springpath.net to see if Curry College is a match for you. Thank you, Keith. We appreciate it.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Take care.